Hi, my name is Tom Keller. I'm the softball coordinator for the Minnesota State High School League in Central and Northeast Minnesota. We're here today to look at clips of 4 possible obstruction plays. We will review the obstruction rule and our mechanics and positioning on these plays. We are reviewing these clips from the 2023 High School League softball tournament. We're not picking on any one umpire, crew, team, or player. We're trying to learn from these situations. We will create more short videos as the softball season progresses. Use these videos as pregame material from your games. With that said, let's look at a few plays. We'll watch them once, and then I will ask some questions, offer observations, and make some comments.
Through the first 3 innings. Lifted right field. That's going to get down. That hits grass. Diving forward. They'll send one home. Even closer. Try to tie it up. Play at the plate and a collision. So 1 run is across.
The first situation is with runners on first base and second base and fly ball to right center field. U1 chases to cover the trouble ball with the center fielder and right fielder converging and a diving attempt to make the catch. Note that the U3 comes into the middle of the field to cover first and second bases and the batter runner. Plate umpire starts at the point of the plate and adjusts his position accordingly. We will stop the video to point out the runner's path and ask the question, is the defensive player in an obstructing position? The answer is yes. The catcher's left foot is in an obstructing position. Here we see the ball hit the dirt in the infield in front of the catcher, and she has dropped her leg into an obstructing position without the ball. Plate umpire has chosen the third baseline extended position to get a good wedge look at the play. The umpire gives the delayed dead ball obstruction signal, verbalizes obstruction, points to plate, signal when a run and scored, and then the say-so. Ball is live until the play concludes on the runner at second base. One additional item I wanted to point out in this play is that U1 starts to come back into the play. When a base umpire chooses to cover a ball, they should stay out and just turn around to have another set of eyes on the action in case information is needed by his partners. Coming back in just confuses your partner. They are in 2-person mechanics now, and U3 is responsible first and second base. Plate umpire is responsible for third base and home. One of the only times an umpire that is chased may come back in is on a rundown between bases where one umpire must cover both ends of that play. Be loud and communicate. I've got whatever base, Fred. By using your partner's name, that usually gets their attention. Here we have the obstruction rule, which is Rule 8, Section 4, Article 3B. Obstruction is the act of the defensive team member that hinders or impedes a batter's attempt to make contact with the pitched ball, or that impedes the progress of a runner or batter runner who is legally running the bases, unless the fielder is in possession of the ball or is making the initial play on a batted ball. The act may be intentional or unintentional, physical or verbal. What we want our umpires to look for as the play is developing is the fielder in an obstructing position? Another item is, has the runner needed to deviate her path or change when they started their slide? If so, this may be obstruction. The obstruction penalty is Article 3B, and it says when an obstruction occurs, the umpire will signal a delayed dead ball, and the ball will remain live. If the obstructed runner is put out prior to reaching the base that they would have attained had they not been obstructed, a dead ball is called, and the obstructed runner and each other runner affected by the obstruction will be awarded the base or bases which they would have reached in the umpire's judgment had there been no obstruction. An obstructed runner may not be called out between the 2 bases where the obstruction occurred. Let's just remember, if the obstructed runner is not tagged out, we need to keep that a live ball. So that would just be a delayed dead ball, and then we'd wait and see when the action stopped. Now let's take a look at the conditions for fly ball coverage, meaning when do we consider chasing to cover a fly ball? One of the conditions is a fly ball near the fence. The second one is a fly ball with outfielders converging. Another one is a fly ball below the knees of the outfielder, possibly a diving catch. And then the last one is a fly ball in your coverage area near the foul line.
The 0-2 lifted high to the sky. That should score one. Caught in left field. They'll center from third to home. And Mankato East takes the lead on the sac fly from Carly Wendinger. They lead 7-6 in the top of the 10th.
The situation on this play we're looking at is we have bases loaded, no outs, 10th inning, and a fly ball to left center field. The base umpires did not cover this fly ball. U3 has leaving early responsibility of R1 on a fly ball hit between the center fielder and the left field dead ball line when the plate umpire covers a catch. U3 has leaving early responsibilities for both the runner on third and the runner on second on a fly ball hit between the center fielder and the right field dead ball line. We need to get the best position to line up these leaving early responsibilities. U1 has leaving early responsibilities are the runner on first on a fly ball hit between the center fielder and the right field dead ball line when the plate umpire covers the catch. U1 has leaving early responsibilities for both the runner on first and the runner on second on a fly ball hit between the center fielder and the left field dead ball line. We need to get the best position to line up these tags and see both runners leave their bases. The plate umpire starts at the point of the plate and adjusts his position accordingly. Is the defensive player in an obstructing position? The answer is no. The catcher's left foot is inside the foul line. What we should also note that the runner's path is inside the baseline. If the throw had been received inside the third baseline and there was contact, it would not have been obstruction since catcher would have been in a non-obstructing position. MSHSL does not have wording in their obstruction rule regarding catching an errant throw that took a fielder into an obstructing position. If the fielder does not have possession of the ball, they cannot be there. The runner never deviated from her route to the plate, in fact, coming inside the baseline to create contact. Judging obstruction, because the arm and the glove were in an obstructing position as the catcher caught the throw, the umpire gives the delayed dead ball obstruction signal and keeps on umpiring until the other runners on all the other bases are on their bases and settle down. Keep observing the action at home plate because the runner does cause some late contact that, if it becomes flagrant or malicious contact, would be interference, which supersedes obstruction. In this case, it is not that aggressive.
Takes the first pitch outside, 1 ball, no strike. Christie 1 for 4 earlier today against New Ulm Cathedral. Pitch low, runner goes, throw down to second base. That in time, it comes off the glove with a shortstop and into center field. And moving to third will be Haley Baldwin. They throw it away at third base. And scoring will be Cloudview. It's a 1-0 lead.
The situation on our third video is we have a runner on first with nobody out. U3 is rotated to second base. On the steal of second base, the ball gets away from the shortstop and goes into center field. We can see the plate umpire starting to go down to third base. Nice job by the plate umpire reading this play and getting to where we need to be. Note that U1 parallels the base runner as they go from second base to third base. We need to use this mechanic because if we wait until the runner's at third base before we start running from first base, we'll never get home. U1 does a great job getting home in plenty of time. Look at the runner's pass. She is outside the baseline at this point. The rotated U1 starts at the point of the plate and adjusts his position accordingly. Is the defensive player in an obstructing position? The answer is no. The catcher's left foot is inside the foul line. What we should also note is the runner's path has changed to inside the baseline. It's a very close and hard to see if the catcher ever went into an obstructing position or tiptoed the line to try and catch the throw. MSHSL does not have wording in the obstruction rule regarding catching an errant throw that took the fielder into an obstructing position. If the fielder does not have possession of the ball, they cannot be there. All in all, this is a very tight play with a rotated umpire in great position to make the call.
Infield back in the middle, up at the corners. 0-1 pitch coming from Van Dyke. Lays down the bunt. Fielded by the first baseman. Throw to second baseman. Out there. Diving in at third. Out at third.
The situation on this play is we're in the bottom of the seventh inning with the runner on first base and 1 out. The batter runner bunts the ball, and the plate umpire needs to stay near home to see a possible pulled foot at first base. Plate umpire hustles down to third base to make the best call he can. Angles are more important than distance, and we always want to be stopped and our head still when the play happens. This is a very tough play on both the U3 and the plate umpire and needs to be recognized in the early stages as it happens to get the best outcome.